Hello everyone, this is Daze with NetcodeIlluminati.com, and today I'm going to be talking about the update that Sources received and the changes it made to the game. So let's get right to it. So the first change I want to talk about is jump peeking. Okay, a lot of people say it's gone. Well, it's definitely not gone. It's basically the exact same as it was before. It's just now you have to make sure you crouch. Now I put on this command called show impacts, which is going to show where your bullet's going, so I'll show that every shot I'm doing is accurate. Right here you can see I'm running around jump peeking everything, and it's definitely accurate, as you can see. Now I don't really understand why they did this, because they made it so that you have to crouch and land and shoot. If you do this, you see how it was accurate there? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the bullet will go everywhere. Right there, a little off. It's really just strange. I don't know why they made it inconsistent, but basically what you're going to want to do is you're always going to want to crouch after you jump and shoot like that, okay? It really is strange. I know it's not showing it here, but oftentimes if you don't crouch, it's not accurate. I know it's showing that it's accurate right now, but trust me, sometimes it's not. Like right there. So again, I don't really know why they changed this, why it's different now, why they want you to crouch and shoot, but they do. So I mean, that's just how it's going to be. You're just going to want to crouch at the end of every jump. You know, you're not going to be wanting to stand up when you jump. So, op, not many changes. They did make it so you scope in a bit faster after you shoot, which is cool. It's going to make it a little better. One thing that I want to say that's going to make the op a little better, actually, is the change that they did to rifles. Now, I'm going to give myself a rifle so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So, what they did with the rifle is they made it a lot harder to run and gun, which as an opper is going to make it easier for me to kill people, because they're not going to be able to run full throttle and just one tap you like everybody else, you know, used to be able to do. So with the rifle, say you were peeking this. As you can see, not every bullet was accurate. Before, it would have been a lot more accurate. Alright? Now, what they did was they made it so if you're fully strafing from one side to the other, it's going to be less accurate. Okay? I would say about a little less than half your bullets are going to go where you want them. Okay? Now, I don't really think this is going to change the game too much. I think people are still going to be running and gunning because you still have the peeker's advantage in Source because of the interp. But what it will do is it will give the posting player maybe a slight advantage. I don't think it's enough to warrant being a player who constantly posts up at obvious spots that people are going to strafe peek and be lined up on your head. Now, what it is going to change though is a lot of the time when you do shoot, you're going to want to tap the other key and stop before you shoot. Now, as you can see, all those bullets are accurate. So most of us in the competitive scene do this anyway, so I don't really think this is going to be, any change whatsoever. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the change for the rifle when you jump peek. Now, for some reason, with the rifle, it's not accurate when you jump peek. As you can see, whenever you jump and you stand straight up and shoot, the first bullet is inaccurate. The second bullet is fine. It's normal accuracy. But the first is way off. Even the second's a little off. But I don't know why they did this again. And now let me show you what it looks like when you crouch into it. Again, the first bullet's off, even when you crouch. So they changed it so the op is fine when you crouch and shoot, but the AK doesn't work. And you can't really jump peek with an AK, or your first bullet's not going to register. Well, not necessarily register, but it's not going to go anywhere. So, again, I don't really know why they did these changes. I don't really think it's going to change much. Most people don't jump peek much with rifles anyway. But The only thing I think it changes is that being an opera is going to be even easier. You know? People, I mean, it's not a very dominant weapon, I don't think, anymore because of the new smokes. Although, I mean, obviously it can be very dominant, but I think it's a lot easier to phase offers out because of the new smokes that were implemented, you know, a year or whatever ago. But because riflers are going to have more trouble running and gunning you, and they're going to have more trouble jump peeking you, I really do think it's going to make it that much more viable and a little bit easier. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the changes that they made to crouching and spraying. They made it a lot more accurate with all guns. As you can see, minus the first 2 bullets that I shot, that was pretty damn accurate. So, again, I don't think this is going to change much. You crouch and spray when it's a viable option, but generally speaking, you do not crouch and spray too much. If you are crouching and spraying, you're probably going to be doing it a lot more on CT side, when a lot of anti-eco rounds that you're getting, you know, you're crouching and spraying at. But yeah, I mean, it is quite accurate. Again, though, you know, you crouch and spray when you can in this game, but generally speaking, you're not going to be crouching and spraying because, generally speaking, you're just going to be in a firefight with people, you know, and crouching and spraying is one of the worst things you could do in that case, you know, because most of the time you're going to be killing a person within the first, you know, 5 bullets of each other shooting, you know, of you and your enemy shooting each other. So, one more thing is, you really only want to crouch and spray if your opponents are blind, I guess. That's, you know, a pretty good way to just rack up a shit ton of kills. But the last thing I want to talk about is the deagle changes. I think they made the deagle even more powerful. Me and my teammates talking about, you know, deagling every single eco instead of just once in a while. Again, you're not going to be able to jump peek with it too much because that first bullet isn't accurate. And the one thing is, look at that. I mean, I'm spamming it full throttle. All the bullets are quite accurate. They made the accuracy on the deagle insane. Right here, I'm spamming it as much as I possibly, like, I'm shooting as fast as I can. Every bullet's going within the same, you know, centimeter of each other. The deagle is going to be insane. Expect even more deagle rounds than you've seen before, and even more, you know, deco round wins. I mean, maybe people are even going to start deagle head armoring because of how incredibly accurate it is. So, that's about it for the changes and what I think it is going to change. So just to, you know, put some cliff notes in here. Op going to be a little bit better because of the changes to the other guns. That's really the only reason it's going to be better. It's not going to be a better weapon itself. It's just going to be a better weapon by comparison. AK-47, M4A1, a little less running gunning. Deagle, even better than it is, and crouching spraying is a bit better. I don't think any of the changes are going to affect the way the game's played too much. I don't think it's a big enough deal for anything to change your gameplay and your game style. So anyways, thank you all for watching. This has been Days with NetcodeIlluminati.com. I appreciate you viewing it, and see you guys later.